Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to another deep dive into the fascinating, often controversial world of power. I'm your guide, and today we're unlocking one of the most potent ideas in the history of strategy and human psychology. Actions speak louder than arguments. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you found yourself locked in a heated debate, your voice rising, your points becoming more insistent, yet the other person remains stubbornly unconvinced? It's a common human experience, this urge to persuade through words, through logic, through the sheer force of our arguments. But what if I told you there's a more effective, a more powerful way to sway minds and achieve your objectives? A way that bypasses the resistance and negativity that arguments often breed. This principle suggests that true power lies not in the realm of rhetoric, but in the tangible world of action. Words, Green argues, are often weak and easily dismissed. They can stir up defensiveness, invite scrutiny, and ultimately fail to create lasting change. Actions, on the other hand, speak volumes. They are concrete, undeniable, and possess a persuasive force that mere words can rarely match. Let's delve into the core of this philosophy. The fundamental idea is that arguments, by their very nature, put people on the defensive. When you argue, you implicitly challenge someone's intelligence, their judgment, their beliefs. Even if your logic is impeccable, even if your facts are irrefutable, you risk triggering their ego and hardening their stance. They become more invested in being right, in winning the argument, than in considering the validity of your point. It becomes a battle of wills, not a pursuit of truth or agreement. Here's why this principle is so practical in our daily lives. Arguments fail for three main reasons. First, ego. People don't like being proven wrong. Even if you're right, you've bruised their pride, and that pride will quietly work against you, making them resentful of your victory. Second, endless loops. Arguments rarely end. Each side keeps bringing new points, new evidence, new emotions. It's a cycle with no conclusion, just a lot of wasted energy. And third, in our world of social media, arguments become a spectacle over substance. People care less about truth and more about winning in front of an audience, which makes genuine resolution impossible. But action cuts through all of this. There's nothing to argue against when reality itself is your proof. Conversely, consistently relying on arguments can lead to a perception of being all talk and no action. Your words, no matter how eloquent, will eventually ring hollow if they are not backed by tangible results. People will begin to question your sincerity and your ability to deliver. History is full of leaders who understood this deep truth. One of my favorite examples is the tale of Amasis, the ancient Egyptian king. According to the old histories, Amasis came from very humble origins. When he rose to power, many of the native Egyptians looked down on him. He was a common man, not of noble blood, and they resented his authority. But Amasis was a master of action over argument. He knew that trying to justify his kingship with words would only provoke more resistance. So, he took a different approach. Among his possessions was a golden footbath, a dirty, mundane object used by everyone for washing their feet. Amasis took this footbath, melted it down, and had the gold fashioned into a beautiful statue of a god, which he then placed in a prominent public square. The Egyptian people, unaware of its true origin, began to see and revere this statue daily. They would bow to it and offer it respect, believing it to be a sacred object. After some time, when he knew the people's reverence was absolute, Amasis called a meeting. He revealed to them that the statue they now worshipped had once been nothing more than a humble footbath, an object used for washing their feet. He then drew the powerful metaphor: just as the people had come to revere the transformed footbath, so too should they honor him, once ordinary, now their king. He didn't have to argue or plead. The transformation from footbath to sacred object was a physical, undeniable symbol of his own journey from commoner to king. He used a stunning act of demonstration to reshape their perception. There was no offense taken, no ego to bruise, just the psychological impact of a miraculous transformation. This brings us to a crucial aspect of this principle: the power of demonstration. Instead of telling people what to believe or how to act, show them. Let your actions be the evidence. Let the results speak for themselves. This approach is far less confrontational and allows people to come to their own conclusions, making those conclusions more deeply ingrained and less likely to be resisted. Think about a modern business context. Imagine you're trying to convince your team to adopt a new software. You could spend hours in meetings, presenting data, arguing about its features and benefits. You might encounter skepticism, resistance to change, and endless debate about potential drawbacks. Or you could implement a pilot project with a small, willing group. Let them experience the efficiency gains, the improved workflow firsthand. Their positive results and experiences will be far more persuasive to the rest of the team than any number of PowerPoint presentations. The action, the successful pilot, becomes the irrefutable argument. Another compelling historical anecdote involves the Greek philosopher Diogenes. Known for his unconventional behavior and sharp wit, Diogenes often eschewed lengthy debates in favor of symbolic actions. When someone argued that motion was impossible, Diogenes simply stood up and walked away, offering a far more potent and undeniable refutation than any verbal counterargument. His actions directly contradicted the assertion, leaving no room for further debate. In our personal lives, this principle holds equal weight. How often do we get caught up in arguments with loved ones, trying to prove our point, to be right? Yet, often, it's our actions that truly convey our feelings and intentions. Showing love through gestures, demonstrating reliability through consistent behavior, these actions build trust and understanding in ways that words alone cannot. Consider the power of social movements today. While articulate spokespeople and compelling rhetoric play a role, it's often the collective actions, the protests, the boycotts, the acts of civil disobedience, that truly grab attention and drive change. These actions are visible, they are impactful, and they force a response in a way that mere arguments, however well-reasoned, often fail to do. Think of environmental activists engaging in direct action to protect forests or animal rights advocates staging demonstrations. Their actions speak volumes, even to those who may disagree with their specific arguments. However, it's crucial to understand that this principle doesn't advocate for abandoning communication entirely. Words still have their place in clarifying intent, in providing context for actions. The key is to let your actions lead the way, to use words sparingly and strategically, to reinforce the message conveyed by your deeds. Don't get bogged down in endless debates that drain your energy and often achieve little. Instead, focus on taking meaningful action that demonstrates your point and moves you closer to your goals. This requires patience and a long-term perspective. Changing minds through action often takes time. You need to be consistent, persistent, and let the evidence of your success gradually erode resistance. It's about planting seeds and allowing them to grow, rather than trying to force them into existence through forceful arguments. So, to recap the core of this principle, win through your actions, never through argument. Arguments often breed defensiveness and entrench opposing viewpoints. Actions, on the other hand, are persuasive, concrete, and less likely to be met with resistance. Demonstrate your point through tangible results, let your actions speak louder than words, and focus on achieving your objectives through strategic and impactful deeds. Now take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Think about times when you tried to win someone over through argument. What were the results? Did you achieve your goal, or did you simply create more friction and resentment? Conversely, can you recall instances where your actions, perhaps without many words at all, had a far greater impact? Understanding and applying this principle can be transformative. It shifts your focus from the often futile battle of words to the more powerful realm of strategic action. It teaches you to be more subtle, more patient, and ultimately, more effective in achieving your aims. It's a lesson in understanding human psychology, in recognizing that people are often more persuaded by what they see and experience than by what they are told. This isn't to say that you should never express your views or engage in constructive discussions, but when it comes to truly influencing others and achieving lasting change, remember the power of your actions. Let them be your primary tool of persuasion. Let them be the undeniable evidence of your capabilities and the validity of your approach. So, what are your thoughts on this powerful idea? Have you seen it in action in your own life or in the world around you? Share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insights. And if you found this exploration insightful and thought-provoking, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the laws of power and other fascinating aspects of human behavior. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for joining me today, and remember, let your actions speak volumes.